I remember when I first heard the myth, I thought that Procne, who's the main character, her sort of struggle and conflict between intellect and passion and intellect and spirit was a modern woman's conflict. So it didn't seem important that it was rooted in this sort of ancient time. It seemed to me very contemporary. So it was easy to sort of take the myth, and we didn't really set it in like Greece. You know, it wasn't like they wore togas and you know, sandals and things. It was in a sort of timeless, you know, partially historical, partially contemporary setting.
Mm-hmm. So when you wrote this, did you just, I mean, how does it come for you in terms of you read this myth or you heard this myth as a child or a younger person, and how did you get all the voices and things like that? And
I researched different versions of the myth because, you know, with a lot of those Greek myths, different authors and different texts have different versions of it. So I kind of picked and chose certain dramatic elements that I wanted to use to tell the story. You know, I think writers use basic stories and, you know, use it for their own interpretation. So I took a little from here and there, and then I made some things up as well.
Well, it's wonderful, and the humor is really great. I wanted to know, too, how did it feel to see your work come alive on stage, and did the actors, directors bring more to it, bring less to it? Were you, you know, I mean, did you feel, you know, whatever, however you felt about it?
They always bring, actors and live bodies always just bring more, just because of their physical presence, you know. It's kind of, at first it's sort of traumatic and exhilarating at the same time to have the actors there in front of you, because when you're writing, you know, there's 13 characters in Stealing Fire, and I could just sort of bring the ones that I needed during different scenes on, and then when they were gone, they didn't exist really. And suddenly I found myself in a room with 13 people, you know, and they were sort of shooting rubber bands. Yeah, they were there, exactly. And so that's kind of frightening, actually, but in a really sort of positive way, I think. And then I got used to them, you know, being there. And we had a really, really good time. It was a very warm cast, and the whole group. We got along very well.
How long, just so people would know, how long would you say it took to write that play?
Oh, this play took me a particularly long time. I wrote it from beginning to end in about a year and a half, but I've been tooling with it.
Is that like with writing and readings and rewrites and things like that?
Yeah, exactly, and picking up other projects in between. I think it was probably 4 or 5 years, you know, between the time I started it and now.